Welcome back to of the legendary sports Sensei. That being the legendary one on the left, the snowman, right? And to the right, putting a microphone, painting on his face. Another one who they say is a legend, but he announced it and cannot say I'm a legend. That is me, T. Willis. We are here. The Sports Senseis Unleashed. And the left.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's Monday, and your senseis are here. That's Drew Willingham. I'm the snowman, Brian Snow, and it's our final Monday edition of the Sports Senseis Unleashed because we are moving to Sunday because of Drew's schedule. That is effective beginning next week. But while we have you here on a Monday, how are you, my friend? How was your weekend?
My apologies. I'm doing great, Snowman. My apologies for having it muted as I was in the intro, in the countdown. I don't know if you heard me during the countdown.
I heard.
I was in the countdown trying to give a little bit of pre-show shenanigans for the fans. As like you said, this is the last Monday episode for now. Now, when the new path starts and I get back to the normal schedule of what I'm supposed to work Wednesday through Saturday, 410s,
right.
Which should be in like 30 to 60 days, then we'll go back to Mondays because I love this time. I love this day. I love this time. Everybody hates Monday, Snowman, but everybody loves Sports Senseis Unleashed who have watched it.
They do. They do.
This show deserves to be on a Monday. And Sunday's not bad. Sunday's not bad. Don't get me wrong.
But it's like we developed such a kinship on Mondays when we do this.
Hey, you could syndicate it this time on Monday. That way we could play it twice.
Way ahead of you, partner. Way ahead of you.
There you go. That way the fans don't miss out. They still get their 1:05 p.m. Eastern dosage of the Sports Senseis Unleashed,
Yep.
just recorded the night before. So get your
Yep.
comments in on
Oh,
Sunday, fans.
yeah.
5:05 p.m. Eastern time. I'll be sure to announce that on tonight's final episode of the In or Out Sports Debate on Mondays. Is that will be moving to Sunday evenings between 8 and 9 o'clock.
Yep.
So these two shows, I love the Kayfabe Express as well. Episode 4 will be tomorrow evening. But I'm going to put that on the back burner for a little bit because Sports Senseis Unleashed and In or Out Sports Debate are my babies. Like I love this show. Being here with Snowman's one of my highlights of the week here out here in the sports world. Unleashing the sports with my man with some shenanigans. But at the same time, the In or Out Sports Debate is my personal baby. That has to keep going. Episode 82 is tonight with P. Alexander Wiley. Episode 83 on Wednesday with Rob Johnson returning to reclaim the top spot with 14 appearances.
Nice.
And on Sunday, episode 84, the one and only Darrell Owens returns for episode 84 as I kick off the rest of this week and get ready to start the new path. 3 episodes of the In or Out Sports Debate, 2 episodes of Sports Senseis Unleashed between today and Sunday.
Yep.
And I have 1 episode of the Kayfabe Express. I have a great week leading up to this new career path. Snowman, I love you. I'm glad we get to start this week off strong.
I love you, brother, and I'm so glad that you're with us on this path. And as I said this morning to Cole off the air, you are one of the content creators for Snowman Multimedia. I gave you the access on YouTube. I'm going to give you access to a couple of other places, video and audio, just in case I can't get to it. Video-wise, the floor is yours. The floor will be yours, man, to create the shorts and everything. And you're so brilliant at doing the shorts. I just can't get time to get to it because
it's hard.
My body is still recovering from everything that went on.
Practice, I will tell you this, like it takes time in the beginning, but once you get the handle of it, it's like Cole said to you before I remember an episode that we were on with Snowman in the morning, and he was talking about like once you get the eye for it, it's quick. Like these little short things you see me do, I can do it like in less than 2 minutes. Like, see, I mean, it's just stuff pops in my head. And as long as you have the YouTube link, you attach the YouTube link, and then like that's what draws in a lot more viewers too.
And that's why I gave you the keys. That's why I permanently gave you the keys to that.
We'll discuss more on how to work that out. I guess for some reason, like I don't know, it's because if I'm like have the keys to multiple ones, for some reason it wouldn't let me do it. So we might have to put it under a different email. But we'll talk about that off the air once we're done with the episode. But I definitely appreciate the keys to it, Snowman. I look forward to giving you whatever advice I can. Once the next week gets here, though, that's why I've had to trim it down to 1 day a week with this for now because. Like I'm gonna have to give my whole focus and dive into this new path and this new journey. It's a big one, and I'm looking forward to it. Gonna get compensated a whole lot better as well. And we've already talked about it before. I'm so excited, but I'm riding this last week out on PTO. Shout out to my previous employer in Geek Squad because they let me finish out my 2 weeks with the PTO that I had remaining, which was enough to fill those 2 weeks out. So, dude, I killed all my overtime, all my
correctly,
and I got out. And I worked like 3 or 4 days in the whole month of February. It was great, Snowman. I spent that February giving back with the content here and stuff with Legacy Maker and doing stuff with YouTube. But like I said, this is one of my most favorite days of the week, and I will miss that. That's why as soon as the training is over, Snowman, we are going to have to bring it back.
Yes,
to Mondays.
Absolutely.
105. Absolutely. It's like I love that time. It's just after lunch.
The syndication will go.
And you watch.
The syndication will go to when we start Sundays. The syndication will go to 105 on Mondays on all our audio and video networks. But when we go back live on Mondays, like we are now at 105, everything after, it's going to be something else. It's going to be something terrific.
People love it enough to where I feel like it deserves it, and two, it like it keeps that spot warm to where like you always remember 105 Mondays was the birth of the Sports Senseis Unleashed.
Indeed.
And that is the dedicated time for it. Sundays 5:05 will have a special time, don't get me wrong, and I appreciate you working with me to where we can still keep it going to where it also for the fans too, because I get just as many compliments on this show with you as I do with the own show that I put all my blood, sweat, and tears into. So I know how you feel when you put all the work into it and you have someone show up and like you have all this praise. It's the same thing with that show too. But I just appreciate getting the viewership and the comments and the feedback are the things that mean the most to me. But yeah, dude, episode 11, we are finally here, and we had a hellacious weekend in sports. I mean, I know I said that last week when I got on here, but XFL is looking nice and bright for the future. What do you think, Snowman?
I love the XFL. I absolutely adore the XFL and the way these kids are playing hard for the teams that they're with, the way that they're hungry, and it's going to have some stability to it. And I adore the fact that it's going to be stable. I adore the fact that it's going to be stable for a while, because now you have the correct investors involved, and they set the hub. They borrowed from the USFL and set the hub for their tryouts and everything, which was Arlington, Texas. But the crowds are starting to grow, and they will know immediately. They will know immediately if they can support their team or not. And right now, the two teams I'm looking at that could play for in a playoff spot or for a championship, one of which was my wild card team, the St. Louis Battlehawks, and the other I think can run the table again, the Houston Roughnecks.
Thursday night's game, I mean, we had some great football this past weekend, mainly for the team that I'm pulling for, the DC Defenders.
Right.
But the St. Louis Battlehawks, that Thursday night game with I'm drawing a blank. Ben DiNucci's on the team with the Seattle Sea Dragons, because the DC Defenders played the week before. I don't know why I was having a brain fart there, but I was thinking Ben DiNucci, still Seattle Sea Dragons. For some reason, I almost said Dallas, but he recently played for the Cowboys. But Thursday night's game, that 20-18 game with A.J. McCarron coming back. And doing with what he did, that was the game of the week. And it was like he said in his post-game comments, like he could have taken more money to be a backup in the NFL, which is what he's been doing for the past half decade for the most part. But he took a pay cut so his kids could see him while he still had something left of his prime to play some football and can do something to help start and relevate another league. And that's what I feel like is a beautiful part of the story that, of course, you got Josh Gordon, who had so many chances in the NFL that, couldn't stop putting the weed down, even though now it's kind of sacrilegious or whatever, because now, they're in the league saying that you can smoke it. He had all these chances saying that you couldn't, but that's another debate for another day.
That's a subject for another day.
But the NFL players that were formerly in the NFL, even Ben DiNucci to a point, because he was keeping the Seattle Sea Dragons close in that game against St. Louis Battlehawks.
He was a minute.
I feel like this is another way for football to shine. It could, the XFL, we were talking about this last week on the Inner Sports Debate. The XFL is a great secondary league, kind of like what AEW is to WWE right now. Okay?
Right.
But and we were having this debate: should the XFL be like a minor league team? And I don't think so. I think it's good enough to be its own separate event, because when Darrell was at the DC Defenders game last week, he said it was kind of like going to a WWE event because the entertainment and stuff that was involved with the game of football. I feel like if you were to take a league and to make it a minor league for the NFL, it should be the USFL based on the production and the caliber players that you have within that league.
The USFL needs to be that minor league for the NFL. I mean, hell, the Cowboys signed its MVP. The Cowboys signed the USFL MVP to be a kick returner. What's that? That should tell you everything right there. That should tell you everything you need. That should tell you everything. Cavante Turpin. I was blanking on the name. Cavante Turpin. But at the same time, the USFL should get, the players in the USFL should get a chance to play in the NFL. They should. All right. That could be the perfect, and you just said it and we said it before. That could be the perfect minor league to the NFL, because there are a lot of hungry players that want to show NFL coaches and staffs what they can do. I mean, I'll say it again. The Cowboys signed Cavante Turpin. All right. And he was the MVP of the XFL. I mean, the USFL. I beg your pardon. He was the MVP. And there's a lot of former players in the USFL, a lot of former players in the XFL as well. So they're looking for second chances. They are looking for that opportunity. Let's take a break right here, and when we come back, Drew and I will discuss more sports.
Snowman, we also have to. I've got some things to read off in the comment section that I cannot wait. Like, I'm hyped up to do it.
We'll do all that. We'll visit the Fanatics.
Thank you, Vic and Sick.
Yes, thank you for those ads, and we'll read them off, and we'll go in the feedback zone and talk some more sports to you when we get back on the Sports Senseis Unleashed. So this thing called sports, it has fans again. It has full stadiums, full arenas, and more. And you want to be a part of it, don't you? Of course you do. If you begin to scour the resale market, there will be tickets available. And what you need to get those tickets that you want so badly is SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the app available to you that lends a hand in helping you get the tickets that you want for the events that you want. SeatGeek rates the tickets on a 1 to 10 scale, and the best part is the tickets are vetted for authenticity, so you know what you are getting and you know you are not getting scammed. And now you can save even more by using the code SNOWMAN and getting $20 off with your very first purchase. Yes, you can do all of that with the power of SeatGeek, helping you get to the games that you want, so you fans can fan. So let's all fan.
Do it now!
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a show that has just as many commercials as a TNT broadcast.
And it doesn't matter if it's a TV series or a hockey game or a basketball game. They all apply. Anyone who has watched TNT for the length of time that we have, you saw the transition come into place. Hell, I remember when TNT used to warm us up with some cartoons before they had their basketball broadcast. But
absolutely,
now it's all yuck.
Our commercials are great, though. And you know what?
Let's read a couple.
We have the ability to do that TNT does not do when they have their broadcast. We can add a little bit of flavor to the commercial itself. Just like at the end of the SeatGeek one, I said, get it now. Get it now. You can do that to hype it up, because I'm going to use the Snowman code this Friday when I go see WWE SmackDown in DC. So I'm hyped. Thank you, Snowman.
Are they playing that at the Capital One Arena? One Arena? Nice.
Yeah, my goal is to go. I'm like 94% sure that I can go. There's some other things I have to get done beforehand. As long as I get some
Right.
other adult things done beforehand, then I will
Then you
reward
better.
myself with going to
You need to.
SmackDown and
You
using the
need to.
Snowman code.
Let's go to the Fanatics feedback zone. They look like this. The Sports Senseis Unleashed is brought to you by Southside Slapbox. Let me try that again. Take two. The Sports Senseis Unleashed is brought to you by Southside Slapbox Academy. Let the scrapping be slapping. I'll give you the next one. Go with it.
In association with Camel Clutch Wrestling Academy, either we make you champions or we make you humble.
Thank you to the Iron Sheik for that one. Drew Willingham's antics are proudly brought to you by Yook Mouth Dental Insurance. Keep it fresh and minty or keep it shut. And Sick Diggy coming to us from Norway. So we are an internationally syndicated show on 2 internationally syndicated networks. Thank you very much. Don't forget to hit that like button and that subscribe button if you're viewing us on YouTube. And Victor's at it again. This segment of Sports Senseis Unleashed
It's
is
my
brought to you
turn.
by- Oh, it's your turn? Go with
Yes.
it. Okay, go. Hey,
This
you
segment of the
skip me
Sports Senseis
first.
Unleashed.
Go with it. Go. Take 2.
Man.
What?
All right, my turn. This segment of the Sports Senseis Unleashed is brought to you by Aaron Rodgers Vapes, guaranteed to bring you that flavor all year round, except January.
Because
Nice,
if anybody is familiar with Aaron Rodgers, he doesn't have any success in January. Period.
or February,
Or February.
except for when he goes on darkness retreats. Don't get upset with me with you and your psychedelics, bro.
You know Packer fans are going to get upset with us for calling out the truth.
No, but at least it's not like don't get me started. I don't want to talk about the one that preceded him.
Oh, Brett Favre?
Yeah, we don't need to be joining that list.
We'll leave that.
With Pat McAfee. We're
That
trying to get this unit on the radio, not get people upset with us. No, man.
Right.
Not to
And we're working on getting over the air. We're working
the
on
FCC will let us be.
Yeah, we're working on getting over the air. Look, two of the shows I produce or co-produces will be on WQEE starting today, 5 days a week, and I'm trying to get this one on there also. So I'm going to be talking to a lot of people in a lot of stations, folks. So just bear with us. Okay. Now to get to a subject I tried to avoid this morning, but couldn't.
Oh God, is it Wednesday?
No, but it involves a game in Dallas. I'll set it up that way. Mize is not here, but I have a feeling he will be. There were 2 stars that played in that game. None of them are named Luka Doncic. And somehow the Dallas Mavericks, I don't know how else to explain this, choked a 27-point lead and lost.
Well, let me put on my Rod hat. Rod hat on. The greatest of
111.
all time, LeBron James, is the reason why they won the game over the Mavericks. Now, the hat is off. I will never say it again.
Please. I'm drinking tea today. Don't make me throw up.
At least you can hear the sarcasm in my voice when I said it.
Brother, I can hear the sarcasm from here to Indianapolis in your voice, okay?
Thank you, Internet.
I can hear the voice. I can hear the sarcasm in your voice from here to Indianapolis and back again.
And to Sick Dicky all the way in Norway. Thank you, interwebs.
Yeah. Dan Levely is tuning us in to find out where he's tuned in from. But yeah, we're all over the place. Go on, Drew.
Well, when we think about how everything has transpired here with this, the beginning of this, well, I would say the end of month in sports. Now you want to bring up basketball, and you want to talk about the Lakers and the Mavericks. Of course, we already knew that Kyrie Irving was a dumpster fire when he was traded to the Dallas Mavericks. Okay. So when you think about how much he faked certain different things. What's up, Mickey? Thank you for joining the comments there, sir.
Thank you, Mickey.
But when you think about the fact that he was faking all this stuff within COVID protocols just to not play in Brooklyn and to get his way out of there to come to Dallas and all that transpired with that, then you got Luka flopping all over the place, looking like a shell of himself in yesterday's game.
God.
Like I didn't know what was going on with him.
Yeah.
And then on top of that,
there's
LeBron,
more.
LeBron, in Rod's eyes and in so many's eyes, the king and the greatest of all time. He is not even the wholehearted reason of why they won that game yesterday.
No, it's the bench. It's the bench who came through.
Well, Anthony Davis had 30 motherfather points, though, man.
Yep.
Then
and they finally got smart, which they haven't done in 2 years, and ran the offense through AD.
And Schroeder even flirted with 20 almost. He had 16.
Mm-hmm.
Dennis Schroeder, the walking meme, had 16
the walking
points.
Meme. Exactly.
8 assists.
Walking meme.
In 35 minutes. That's not half bad considering how he's played since being reacquired by them.
Yep. Mickey Delane is joining us in from Washington State, I believe, just outside of Seattle. And Dan Levely joining us from Midland, Michigan. So we're all over the place, like we said. 111-108 the final. And you know who put a line in the chat that we're in that kind of that kind of angered me, but it's not what you think. It's not what you think. The 4 words he put up were Golden State is finished. That 109-104 score against Minnesota says otherwise. And being a big wrestling fan, not wrestling, wrestling. Rod, to counter your statement, and thank you, Klay Thompson and Kevon Looney, holding it down for Steph Curry, because once he gets back, they're going to take off. There's a simple sentence I love to say, and it goes like this. To be the champs, you have to beat the champs. And I don't mean regular season either. I'm talking about in a best 4 of 7 playoff series. Let me say that again. Rod, listen carefully to me. I want you to listen carefully to me. Listen carefully to your sensei. As I throw a little Ric Flair in there. It goes like this. To be the champs, you have to beat the champs. And the Lakers ain't getting in the playoffs anyway. So, nah.
Absolutely. I cannot have said it any better, which was why I was shadow boxing or air boxing or whatever you want to call it in the background, like a professional wrestler would do in practice for their upcoming match. Just to let you know, Rod Isaac, one of the biggest trolls of all time, you must get together in this whole LeBron comparison to Jordan, because there is none. There is none whatsoever. The game of basketball is way more pussified nowadays than it ever was when Jordan played.
Mm-hmm. You know, and to say it's pussified is an understatement. A horrible
pacified.
We say it's pussified and it's amplified. Okay, let's go to the Fanatics feedback zone, but none dealing with Anthony Davis or anyone else matters. All that matters is, ladies and gentlemen, I will not read the rest of that. It ain't Wednesday. I'm not going to read it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Sick Diggy from Norway. Anthony, oh my leg. Davis actually played. Yeah, and he played well. We don't say that often about Anthony Davis because, and let's just say this. A Pizzle in the house, joining us from Florida.
Hey, Pizzle!
What's up, A Pizzle? Hey, Pizzle, I'll need a favor from you if you can do it. I'll explain off the air. Listen, ever since Anthony Davis forced his way out of New Orleans, let's call a spade a spade. Let's call a spade a spade. Ever since Anthony Davis forced his way out of New Orleans, he hasn't done much.
No.
He hasn't done much. I mean, first of all, he's playing with LeBron, so there's that. Second of all, he's playing for an organization that has been run into the ground by Jeannie Buss. So there's that. Thirdly, he's played with coaches that have been told, and I really believe Darvin Ham has been told to run the offense through you know who, and the you know who is not Anthony Davis. Am I wrong?
No. And it's an
I'm
absolute
not
dumpster
gonna
fire
cuss.
with him running it.
And I'm not going to cuss, as you pointed out to me this morning as I was driving
do it.
home and finishing up the morning show. I'm not going to cuss and say his name. Okay? And I kept looking at you in the chat this morning. Snowman, you cussed.
I did.
I did. I said
He
his
sent
name.
us this elaborate paragraph yesterday, and I hope
Yes.
Cole Johnson or Wise is watching this at some point.
Yes.
Snowman sent us this elaborate paragraph yesterday. I gave him the thumbs up, and I loved it or whatever because, I know he's trying to say this out loud to help himself, but some of the rest of us, you might slip a word in there.
Right.
That's why I creatively came up with Mother Father, because you
Right.
cannot get me FCC when I say it, or Shizzle, because these are two appropriately addemned words
You
that
know
I can say
you
in
know
a
what I do
podcast.
now to stem myself from swearing on the radio? I think of teams and players that I hate profusely.
Yeah. I
'Cause
mean,
I'll say
there's even
something-
ESPN and live shows where they can say, certain words. But I don't even want to say. That's why I'll say shizzle or dizzle, crizzle, whatever I gotta say.
We're
to
not
get on out of it.
Listen, our networks are not ESPN because we're better. Period.
We have great talent. We do.
And
we don't have the money that ESPN
we
does.
actually have people that actually bring facts to the conversation. And Victor Locke just repeated a line. I will show it, but I won't read it because it involves a cuss word. I'll show this. And
That's not a cuss word.
There's a cuss word in there.
Coward?
No.
Oh, LeBron.
Yep. Yep. Because here's the thing, y'all. Here's the thing. I'm just sick and tired. I'm answering. I'm multitasking. Okay, I'll just put it that way. I'm multitasking.
So what are you doing right now while we're live?
Huh?
What are you doing right now while we're live? You're talking about multitasking?
Multitasking.
Do you need me to take over
the Dan Levely show? Hey, Dan, where can I find you? Because I want to subscribe to you. I want to subscribe to you and catch your show. They will not be a 6th seed. They will not get in the playoffs.
Dan
They are
just
too inconsistent
with his YouTube channel. So when this show is over, you can click on that link and you can subscribe to that channel. And I think I will too, because Dan has a pretty cool name. Gonna check that show out based on the name. That's what's got me grounded in now. Thank you, Dan. But I do not think that they will be a 6th seed.
They will not be.
They're going to be the 8th seed.
Listen, they will not be a no. They will be a no seed. Period.
No, Snowman, I feel like the way they're catching fire and the way they're playing, if LeBron can stay healthy, if your cuss word can stay healthy, they can make the 8th seed. Will they get much further than that? No, because they don't have much help beyond Anthony Davis when his knee, like Six says, is healthy. But you got to give him a little bit of credit. You can't trash him with so much.
No. Listen, everybody wants to trash. Everybody wants to trash the champs. Don't you know there are only 4 games out of first place in the Pacific Division, which they can get? And second of all, they're only a game and a half out of the 6th seed.
What does Snowman? What does that have to do with the Lakers getting the 8th seed, though?
They're not getting the 8th seed.
That has nothing to do with the Lakers getting the 8th seed. That's my point. You keep trashing them so much because LeBron was on there. If LeBron went to the Sacramento Kings or some other team, you would then give ultimate love back to the Lakers after that.
Exactly. Because I will make a very broad statement about you know who. Okay? And there's a certain group, I can't say it till Wednesday. I can't swear until Wednesday. There's a certain group that's going to get mad at me for saying this, but I will say it aloud. He has not done a doggone thing for the league in 20 seasons. Not a thing. And Dan's getting mad at me saying, "That's it. Send me the link. Let me in here." We just might do that for our final segment. Let Dan
Well,
stand by.
before you get in here to inviting people in here we never met before, it's like inviting the guy at Subway to jump in on the show that's supposed to be a 2-person show. Let me get you back on track here, brother. You posted something the other day since you would have been saying this wild stuff saying
What I
Jacoby Brissett over Deshaun Watkins.
Yep. I don't care.
Why? What in the father, Snowman?
Now, you know that's not what you said in the chat, but I will explain why.
I did not say that in the chat.
Well, I'm blaming you anyway. Shut up. Here's why I said Jacoby Brissett over Deshaun Watson. And I'm taking out of the equation that Deshaun has missed 2 years with all the injuries and the legal problems with everything that's going on. Here is why. Excuse me. Here is why I say Jacoby Brissett over Deshaun Watson. First of all, Jacoby Brissett has proven himself as a starter in Cleveland. Okay? They gave him the reins and they let him work. Now, did it lead to a winning record? No. Did it lead to Cleveland getting in the playoffs? No. Part of that is because of the ownership and the culture, and quite simply because it's Cleveland. You gave Deshaun Watson a fully guaranteed contract, and to this moment, I'm asking one very important question. Why?
I'll tell you why, Snowman. Because the money didn't start to be guaranteed until the year of 2023, this upcoming season. So he was on a minimal league deal for this past year, got paid peanuts for what happened. They already knew that he was going to be garbage with everything that was hanging over his head. He didn't come into like what, week 11, week 12 or whatever. So he didn't get to start with a fresh team week 1. You watch this upcoming season. Deshaun Watson, I don't care how bad of an individual of a person he is.
Deshaun Watson.
He is going to Michael Vick you 2010 when Michael Vick came out here and everybody was saying all that stuff about Michael Vick. Look at that one great year that he had. It was like 2010 or 2011.
Nope. I'll believe it when I see it.
And you will this year when he has a full season, Snowman.
And Cleveland will go 2-15.
No, they will not. They will go 13-4.
You are nuts. Did you spike that drink you just took?
No, 13-4. This 17 games.
If Cleveland wins more than 8 games, just because of the simple fact that it's Cleveland, I'll be surprised.
Watch. 13-4.
You want to lay a food bet on this one?
No, but I'm just saying wild guess on February 27th. I could change it within the next 6 months, but right now I'm saying 13-4.
What is your favorite food?
You know, man, it's tough because,
Are you a breakfast person?
Not really.
No,
not really.
Why not?
I get a snack for breakfast because if I eat too much in the morning, then I'm not hungry for the day.
Yeah, right.
I want to be hungry out the day. That's when I succeed. If I'm hungry, then lunch, then I'll start eating a little bit, and then dinner time.
Start banging out for lunch.
Yeah, and then dinner's where
I will listen. I would if they go 13-4. I will personally take a few days off with my wife, come to Virginia, and feed you lunch.
There we go.
We'll do a Sports Senseis live from Virginia, which is what I'm planning anyway, because I plan to have this channel and your channel monetized so we can really get paid. But I will personally, with the frequent flyer miles I know I'm going to be having, I will fly to Virginia. My wife and I will take a few days off and come to Virginia and feed you. Now, I'm not counting.
They go 13-4.
If they go 13-4, I will fly to Virginia and feed you and I will hand you a receipt on the air in person.
And if they win less than 8 games, I'll send you a gift card.
They win, look, if they win less than 8 games, I'll come feed you. Listen,
Mickey said he thinks I'm high.
If they win less than 8, listen, if they win 8 games or less, I'll come feed you anyway because I want to meet my buddy Drew. All right.
I mean, of course, we're going to meet each other at some point this year. Anyway,
Yeah.
so, man, you're going
I want to come feed. I want to come feed you anyway. Take a break. We'll come back. We'll finish up this frivolity and this fun we call the Sports Senseis Unleashed. Back in a couple.
And Mickey, I am not high.
The original Think Drink is back. Level up with proven ingredients formulated to crush your competition.
Absolutely.
No gimmicks,
and get this
no
energy
jitters,
drink, which will help
no
with
messing
caffeine.
around. Just high potency results that keep you
got your own
moving day or night.
Right.
There's a new nerd in town, and we came to play. Nerd Focus. Smarter than energy.
Of course, Steph Curry, Tim Anderson, Jordan Alvarez.
And it's caught! Debo Samuel with the catch.
Michael Jordan can sense.
The Fro just got the king.
BS3 Network.
The hottest of hot takes. The coldest of cold hard facts. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Weekdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
You need a commercial like this, Snowman.
So this thing called sports, it has fans again. It has full stadiums, full arenas, and more. And you want to be a part of it, don't you? Of course you do. If you begin to scour the resale market, there will be tickets available. And what you need to get those tickets that you want so badly is SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the app available to you that lends a hand in helping you get the tickets that you want for the events that you want. SeatGeek rates the tickets on a 1 to 10 scale, and the best part is the tickets are vetted for authenticity, so you know what you are getting and you know you are not getting scammed. And now you can save even more by using the code SNOWMAN and getting $20 off with your very first purchase. Yes, you can do all of that with the power of SeatGeek, helping you get to the games that you want, so you fans can fan. So let's all fan.
Safe Buddy with Snowman. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a show that has just as much entertainment as Comedy Central, the Sports Senseis Unleashed.
Sick, put up the ad for McCoffee, if you would, so we'll be sure to read that. If you don't get a chance to during the show, after the show, subscribe to the Dan Levely Show. Good stuff. We'll promote it. And Dan, I'd love to make your show a part of my network. I mean, we're fighting right now back and forth about the Lakers, but from the heart, I want to make the Dan Levely Show a big part of Legacy Maker, Cole Sports, and Snowman Multimedia. And Real Wise. Let's complete the slam.
Snowman, where are our names? People don't even know what our names are. What if they never met you before? Where's our names at?
Drew, shut up.
Snowman. Bring him up, Snowman.
Shut up.
We got a new commenter here. Who's the big dog?
The big dog Shane Lake in the house, coming to us from the state of Maine. The super producer is indeed in the house, and he will be a big part of what we're doing going forward. I cannot wait to have him aboard. Do you remember the show Tough Crowd on Comedy Central? This is coming from Sick. Do you remember that show?
Yes.
You know, one of my favorite comedians had a weekly spot on Comedy Central. Lewis Black. I can't repeat anything that he said, but y'all get the idea. Let's wrap this up. We got a few minutes left.
Well, Snowman, we were supposed to get into some old school wrestling today. What was it in the old school wrestling that you wanted to bring up? Because it
Okay,
is
in 3 words,
WrestleMania
I
season
miss
as
it.
we wind down to WrestleMania.
I miss it. I miss it. Simply put,
Watch it. When you got
I
Monday Night
do.
Raw tonight, you got AEW, you got
I'll be as
Dynamite on Wednesdays.
I'll be asleep probably because I'm full of caffeine now because I've had 2 of these iced teas with
YouTube.
green
You got it on
tea.
YouTube. I'll watch some clips here and there. You know, you got to
Okay,
find some.
okay.
If you can find at least 15 minutes a day, you know, and go on some
Yeah,
YouTube and watch it.
true,
They've always got some great stuff on there. But
true,
like, no,
true.
I've gotten more in tune with wrestling over the past 5 years. I kind of got out of it for a long time. You know, after like growing up with it, say mid 2000s, I kind of phased out of it once I was in my late teens, early
Yeah,
20s.
yeah,
But then
yeah.
over the past 5 years, there's one night where I was bored, something wasn't on TV, and I just watched it. And then I
Right.
started watching that and SmackDown each week, and it was kind of, you know, it wasn't that great, to be honest, over the like about 5 years ago or so. But
Yes.
since the pandemic and especially since Triple H has taken over the writing aspect of it over the past year or
Mhm,
so, it
mhm.
is on a different level now. It is like watching it back in the day, and the storylines are very
Yeah,
compelling.
yeah,
So, very
and that's
excited
what
about it.
and that's what was missing for the longest time. That was missing, compelling, storylines. Dan Levy comes to us, Roman versus Rock,
Not this year, Dan. Not
you
this year. It'll
know?
be next year.
Yeah, next where is WrestleMania this year?
It's in LA this year. It's in
SoFi,
Philly
that's
next
right.
year.
It's
It's in
it's in
Philly next
SoFi
year,
this year,
and
and it's going to, what is that place? Lincoln Financial Field next year in Philadelphia.
a buddy of mine's supposed to be hooking me up with the ticket. I mean, of course, I'll pay him for it, but we're supposed to be getting tickets to go to the one in
Man, get
Philly
a
because
press
it's close to here, and I've never been to like a pay-per-view event. And WrestleMania would be a huge
I'm
one.
waiting for you to get a press pass.
I'm trying, but
I know,
it's
I know.
too soon for now. But
Yeah, yeah. Cody versus Roman as the night 2 headline act is gonna be major. I agree with that. I agree with that. Trips running the creative has been a huge breath of fresh air, and you just spoke about it, and it has.
yeah,
And I want to see it. I want to see it progress. I want to see it progress. Let me shout out Dave Price, tuning us in from Toronto, the home of the Blue Jays, and home. I can't say Rogers Center, home of the Sky Dome. It's not Rogers Center to me. I just can't say it. Just like I can't say Great Western Forum from back in the day, even though that's what it was known as.
Dan, Cody is gonna win it
Yeah,
on that night too.
I think Cody's gonna win it. I
It's
think
time. It's
it's Cody. It's time Cody gets a run. You
yeah.
know,
And
it's
put it on
time Cody
someone
gets.
that's gonna wrestle more than once a month. Like,
Mhm.
that we can see that would actually carry the flagship of it for a while, which we haven't
Right,
seen. Because
right.
Roman's big story was he was talking about how Brock Lesnar was a part-time champion back in the day when they were feuding before he became the tribal chief. And now
Mhm.
it's, like, absolutely hypocritical that you got him in the role that he's been in,
Yeah.
wrestling a month, barely getting out there, and Cody
Mhm.
proven that he can carry it, and he's getting over with the fans.
Yeah.
And
He
can
is.
help make some stars out of these new talent that are coming up, as to where Roman's only wrestling once a month. You could have Cody still win these matches, but put over this talent to where it makes it look like they had a chance, and kind of boost them up in the mid card. You know, and still do things to help elevate talent, as to where Roman's really not doing that. Roman's
Mhm.
like smashing them all pretty much like he says he's doing.
Man, it's I wanna see it, but I know I'm gonna have I wanna watch WrestleMania this year, but I
Well, watch
know
what's on
since
Peacock.
I was disappointed I've been disappointed so many times before that by my own admission and my own fault, I'm gonna be very skeptical, but I wanna take a peek and see what happens. Dan Levy has a, question. Will Roman lose both belts or only one? I hand that to you, Drew.
I mean, the way that they're advertising the match,
Mhm,
unless they all of a sudden change it to where he has to defend one title on Saturday and one on the Sunday, which could leave the door open for The Rock to come in, which I doubt it,
mhm.
or leave the door open for him to defend against Sammy on Saturday and then Cody on Sunday. Um,
Which belts are he holding?
He's
belt?
holding the WWE Heavyweight Championship and the Universal Championship, which the
So
Universal Championship is like the equivalent of the Heavyweight Championship. They just had that on SmackDown, and the WWE
right.
Heavyweight Championship was on Raw.
So
So
he's
that way,
got
each show
both.
has a champion, just like
Right.
each show has like the Intercontinental Championship, and the other one has the U.S. Championship. Each one has a Tag Team Championship. Well,
Right.
the Bloodline with Roman Reigns and the Usos, his cousins, have gotten
Right.
so greedy over the past year and some change that Roman Reigns has been the Universal Champion for nearly 3 years. And then you've got him. He won the WWE Heavyweight Championship last year against Brock at WrestleMania. To basically now he's the WWE undisputed heavyweight championship of the world.
Right.
So there's been talks about them potentially separating the titles because they've had the Usos defending just like one title or the other because they're the Raw and SmackDown tag team champions.
Right.
So they both have the titles as well too. So they've had them defending them individually. And there's been talk about potentially Roman doing that to where he drops just the heavyweight championship so he can keep the longest reign as the Universal Heavyweight Championship going. Because since they still recognize it as a heavyweight championship, it still falls along the tiers of what the WWE title already is, which is why he doesn't need the other one. Which at this point, because he's had them for so long, they need to either merge the titles into one, or
like
just
they did before. Like they did back in 01 or 02 and have a undisputed title.
Or just have him vacate it if you don't want to worry about, damaging his run by having him lose the heavyweight championship might potentially damage his run with the Universal Championship. I don't know, but at this point, I feel like Cody needs to take the titles from him. And let's put Roman aside for a little bit. He's already done pretty good in Hollywood. Let him get a taste of what The Rock has been going through. And then we can see what transpires with that. But when you put everything into perspective and how it is now, Cody definitely deserves a run with that championship or championships.
Big Dog Shane Lake saying it's being booked as both. Now it depends on the networks. Regarding Rock, he is not expected to show by his own admission because he feels he wouldn't be in fighting shape. And plus, he's got business with the XFL.
Yep. I mean, but he's got the time off from Hollywood because he took off the first quarter of this year, which is through April from Hollywood, so that way he could focus on his endeavors with the XFL. But that also leaves the slight back door open for him to potentially make that one appearance at WrestleMania. At least do something there. He doesn't have to necessarily wrestle, but I feel like he might show up and do something with like he did with John Cena, where The Rock showed up the year before and then they made that match the year later because it was the start of the build. It was an annual long build. This could be what that was for that point for him and John Cena.
True.
Where it is for Roman Reigns and him. The Rock could show up and help cause Roman Reigns the championship or something. One way, because all he has to do is have his music hit during the match, step onto the ramp. Roman has this shizzle look on his face. Then he gets rolled up by Cody. And then he takes the championship. And then that sets the head of the table feud for the remainder of the year, the annual would be, and they could cap it off next year at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
How do you think about that, Snowman?
That could be a good setup. That could absolutely be a good setup. We'll leave it here and we'll get back to you on Sunday.
Sunday
is at 5:05 Eastern, and you can catch the syndicated run at its normal time, 1:05 Eastern on Mondays.
One thing I wanted to bring up with you though before we rolled out of here.
Yes, sir.
Week 3 XFL will be wrapping up as we are starting that episode 12. Okay.
Right.
I feel like the DC Defenders versus the St. Louis Battlehawks game could potentially be the game of the year.
It could potentially be a title match.
It could potentially be the reflection of that because they're both undefeated. They've both played very well. And what the DC Defenders have with the two quarterback system, with kind of like the Wildcat situation going on, it's pretty cool looking. Their defense has been playing lights out under the one and only Greg Williams, who was the infamous coach, the bounty coach for the New Orleans Saints.
For the New Orleans
Sean
Saints.
Payton. And he gets them in trouble, and he's not doing bounties here in D.C., but he is making them pop those boys on the other side to where they are undefeated. And it is the defense playing a huge part.
Absolutely.
XFL. I'm stoked.
We will see we'll talk about that game, and we'll wrap up week 3 in the XFL and give you our thoughts. And we got a whole bunch of other stuff to do. But for now, for Drew and for myself, I love you guys. We love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you like the content, give us a little support via Cash App. The tag is $$Tallman Dr. K50 for myself, and $D Willie 87 for my fellow sensei, Drew Willingham. We love y'all. Thanks for being interactive with us. Beginning this coming Sunday, we're at you at 5:05 for the time being. The syndication will roll at 1:05 on Monday. But for now, we love you. We're out of here. We'll see you on Sunday. So long, everybody.
Episode 11 is in the books. We'll see you this Sunday at 5:05 p.m. Eastern Time.